Yeah, I'm having an opinion on a board game. Freaking board game. People try to say, it's a philosophy. Not really. Not really. If you want to make it a philosophy, it'd be King's Court. As in the court, like a courthouse where they do like court cases, say you're guilty or not guilty for this and this and this. Like the government version of that. But if it was for like a war, so like the lawsuit going on in a war or something, and that lawsuit is the game of chess. So whenever you're playing it in the court, you're playing the war of the court, so it's King's Court, because it's the court of the king, from the king. He's the king, so it's legally his court. Okay? The king might be fighting the literal war, but his court is fighting the war over legal stuff. Like who gets what, or what happens after this and that, or whatever, and what laws get made, or bills get passed. But anyway, I'm going to talk about the actual board game, not necessarily the whole philosophy thing. So it's kind of beyond me with the whole philosophy stuff when it comes to chess. Anyway, chess as a board game kind of fell off because it was really, really popular for a certain amount of time, and then it just kind of disappeared, because the only way you really know about chess is if you watch about it and you're like in that high mind, you're in that what's it called? You're in that part of the internet, you're in that chess part of the internet. Because if you went back a couple of years ago, even if you weren't into chess, you were probably going to get a video about chess. The board game, where you have your king, queen, knight, bishop, rook, and pawn. So, yeah. Or elephant, or jumper, or jacker, or whatever you want to call them. Because it's not just bishop. Same thing with all the other characters. In fact, sometimes the rook is sometimes called a castle or a crow. So, just saying. And sometimes the knight is called the pony or the jack cheese. And the king is sometimes called the kiddo. And the queen is sometimes called the kitty, the doggy. And then the pawn is sometimes called the Frenchman. Well, anyway, yeah, there's not really much for me to really talk about here, other than, hey, it's just a board game you can play, and it's kind of fun, but it's like, as long as you know the basic rules, you'll be fine, in passing or en passant. How the pawn moves, how the knight moves, how the rook moves, how the bishop moves, how the queen moves, and how the king moves. Things like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. And I say something to you right now. That's all I gotta say for this video, because, well, I just don't have much to say on chess, because, well, there's not much going on either than, yeah, it's a board game. You can play it if you want to anyway. And, yeah, just remember, stay ugly.